How you doing, everybody? Listen, I hope everybody's well. It's Friday. Sorry, not Friday. It's the 2nd of February. It's Wednesday, the 2nd of February, 2011. I've been away for some time. I think the last post I made on YouTube was around about the 5th of January. So I'll give you an idea. I had to go off and do some work, and I had a problem here at home, and it's just a physical problem. I had a plumbing problem. And I don't have the money to pay for plumbers to come, so I had to sort it out myself, and it just took a lot longer than I've got it sorted out. It just took a lot longer to do than would normally take. I'm sure a plumber probably would have done it in a day and a half. It took me almost a week or more than a week to do it. Anyway, it was all related to the bad weather we had here in Ireland. So I came home here. I had to go away and do some work, earn some money, and I came home here last weekend. And obviously, as I'm sure a lot of people are aware, lots of things have happened in Ireland over the last few weeks. Eventually we have got rid of this government. This government, I think it was yesterday, finally resigned, so they're no longer in power. And a new election date has been set for February the 25th, which is Friday. I think it's a Friday, February the 25th. So I think that augurs well. I think that really does augur well. I just wanted to talk about what democracy is, because I've heard a lot of people over the last couple of days. I just wanted to catch up with what was going on in Ireland, and I was going through lots of YouTube stuff and going through trying to catch up with the newspapers, because I had a lot of newspapers here that I had got and had to read them and try and sort of discern what was happening. And in a lot of them I hear this talk about it's an extraordinary bit of business, and it kind of decries democracy. And I understand elements of where it's coming from, but I just want to give you how I see what democracy is. I mean, to me, democracy is the rule of the majority. But there's a caveat attached to that. And the caveat is, it's an age-old caveat. And it's the rule of the majority. And the caveat being, with due consideration for the wishes of the minority. In other words, if the minority are trampled and trodden on, then that's a recipe for disaster. I came from a state, the north of Ireland, where that was the case. We had a loyalist majority who tramped and trod on the will and the democratic process. Was just, they eradicated it. They trampled on it and abused it for their own interest, and they had no concern or care for the minority who were of a different political and religious persuasion, who were in their midst. You can't do that, because, as I say, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for confrontation, and it's a recipe for, down the line, eventually some sort of revolution. And that's essentially what happened in the north of Ireland, as I say, where I come from. Now, thankfully, all that has stopped, and there's some sort of normality, if you could call it normality, reigns in the north of Ireland. But the whole process of democracy in Western societies is an extraordinary bit of business. There's no doubt. It's open for criticism, and I would agree that it is valid criticism. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a perfect method or a perfect means of running society. I know that. It has all its flaws. Because you must remember, at the end of the day, look, we're just monkeys in suits. That's all we are. So we're not going to develop or devise anything that anybody can consider to be perfect. In real and rational terms. We are imperfect creatures. Our reality is we're on a mud ball flying around a big star in the middle of nowhere. That's our reality. So any changes, I believe, that we can bring about that are real and of substance, generally speaking, are incremental changes. Now, there are periods where revolutionary changes can be brought about, legitimate revolutionary changes can be brought about, and that's a different ballgame altogether. And all that has to be weighed up terribly carefully, because there's a big body count. There's always a massive body count in the revolutionary situation. Whereas in the other situation, there doesn't tend to be that. Generally, there doesn't tend to be that. Now, if we think about democracy in the whole of Western societies, it's an old adage, and I'm sure you've all heard it lots of times before, but it's something that's always intrigued me. And somebody brought it to my attention there recently on one of the YouTube videos. It's a cartoon, I think it's a cartoon, and it comes from the 20s in America, and it came out of the left-wing movement in America in the 20s and 30s. And basically what it's about is, it's about the manifestation of democracy within society. We talk about democracy in a democratic society and all. So if you think, how should it manifest itself in an economic and a political sense as democracy? Well, what should happen is the will of the majority of people should be manifest in society. But that's obviously not what happens in society. So you got to question what's happening then. And all that happens is, very, very simply, for some extraordinary reason, we the mice, the analogy being, you know, the elites being the cats, us the mice, we as the mice constantly elect the cats to rule us. And I find that truly, truly extraordinary. Now, we're in a complete political abyss in Ireland. At the moment, there's a huge chasm in Ireland. And I bet you come, it's only 3 weeks away, I bet you come the end of this month that large numbers of the mice, in fact the majority of the mice, will elect probably a non-left-wing government, a left-thinking government. The government they will elect will be a right-thinking government. More cats. And it could be, you could have more cats in power in our government buildings down in Dáil in Leinster House. We could have more cats than we had before. But hey, that's democracy. That's what I say. That's democracy. Now, at the end of the day, as I say, it's a flawed system. I don't have any of the answers to it. I'm just throwing this out to people. I'm just saying, this is the way it is. It's truly extraordinary to me that it is that way. I would have thought if you were a mouse, you'd want to have mice ruling you. But no. Because of the media and because of the church and because of the whole concentration of propaganda that's put on people from their young, we're told there's an order. There's an elite at the top and they're better than you. This is a hangover from the day of the monarchist days. Because this is what you were told totally in monarchist societies. They're all blue bloods. They're all God. God put them into place. Yeah. Yeah, they don't defecate like you. No. They don't defecate or eat 3 meals a day. No. Or wear one suit of clothes like you. No. These are special people. They've got blue blood running in them. Special people. Their blood's not red. No, it's blue. So this is what you have. So we have, unfortunately, this entirely flawed system that governs us. But when you think of the other possibilities, I don't want to go down that route. I would prefer to have this flawed, entirely flawed system which has the potential to bring about change than some sort of dictatorial, neo-fascist, totalitarian, left-wing sort of thing. I don't want that. I've told you, my politics are very, very simple. My politics are libertarian social cooperation. Libertarian cooperation. You don't need anything else in society. That's all you need. You need people's individual liberty. That's all. Number one, I have to have individual liberty to fit into a general parameter of what's good and beneficial for society. And the second thing is obviously some sort of form of social cooperation, because if you don't have that, we can't go forward. So I know the democracy is flawed. I'm the first to hold my hand up. I'll hold my hand up all the time and say, I know it's flawed. I know it's aspects of it are damnably difficult to get your head around. I know that. But at the moment, it's the best system that we have, I think. Now, if somebody can come up with a different system, the anarchists would probably tell you that there is a better system, and I would agree with them, but I think that that's a long way down the line. I think that's what I think. I think that's a long way down the line. I think we will have to deal with what's here at the moment. We have a society, we've got children, we've got old age people, we've got a complex society, we have to deal with it. We just got to be aware. Please don't elect too many cats. Please. The vast majority of people are mice. Let's elect a few mice. Okay? We're going to talk a lot more over all this. Bye.